In the ancient land of Colchis, where the sun rises from the sea, a princess was born under a dark star. Her name was Medea. She was no ordinary royal. Daughter of King Ants and niece to the enchantress Circe, magic flowed in her veins like blood, a potent ancient force. She walked between worlds, commanding spirits and weaving spells with the ease of a master weaver at their loom. Her home, the magnificent city of Ea, was a fortress of power, and at its heart, guarded by a sleepless dragon in a sacred grove, lay the prize of kings, the Golden Fleece. This radiant treasure, the shimmering hide of a winged ram, was the symbol of Colchis' strength, and many had tried to claim it. All had failed. But one day, a new ship appeared on the horizon, the legendary Argo, and on its deck stood a hero unlike any other. Jason, Prince of Iolcos. He was handsome, bold, and driven by a desperate quest to reclaim his stolen throne, a task that required him to bring the fleece back to Greece. The moment Medea saw Jason, her world tilted on its axis. The gods, meddling as they always do, had sent Eros to pierce her heart with an arrow of pure, unadulterated love. It was a love so fierce it felt like a curse, a wildfire that would consume everything she knew. She saw in Jason not just a man, but a destiny, a future she would carve out of the world for them, no matter the cost. Jason, a leader of men but a novice in the ways of magic, knew he stood no chance against the impossible trials set by her father. King Aedes, wary of the handsome stranger, demanded he yoke fire-breathing bulls and sow a field with dragon's teeth, from which an army of phantom warriors would spring. It was a death sentence. That night, torn between loyalty to her family and this all-consuming love, Medea made her choice. She met Jason in secret under the cloak of darkness. She gave him a magical ointment, a salve that would shield him from the bull's fiery breath and the warrior's spectral blades. Her price was simple, yet absolute, a promise. An unbreakable vow that he would take her as his wife, his queen, and love her for all eternity. Jason, captivated by her power and her passion, swore the oath without hesitation. With Medea's magic at his side, Jason triumphed. The fire-breathing bulls became as docile as lambs, and the army of phantom warriors turned on each other, fading into dust. But the final challenge remained, the sleepless dragon. Medea led Jason to the sacred grove. There, she sang a lullaby of ancient power, her voice weaving a melody of sleep and shadow that even the mythical beast could not resist. As the dragon's great eye drooped, Jason seized the Golden Fleece. Its light was blinding, a piece of the sun brought down to earth. Their victory was short-lived. King Aedes, enraged by the theft and his daughter's betrayal, sent his fleet in pursuit. To aid their escape, Medea performed her most heart-wrenching act. She scattered magical illusions across the sea, phantom islands and false fleets that led her father's ships on a wild chase, buying precious time for the Argo to sail away. She had severed the final tie to her homeland, burning the bridge back to the life she once knew. For Jason, she had become a traitor, an exile. They arrived in Greece not as conquerors, but as fugitives. After a series of trials and adventures, they settled in Corinth. For 10 years, an uneasy peace reigned. Medea, the foreign sorceress, was never truly accepted. Her power was feared, her customs mocked. But she had Jason, and their 2 sons were a testament to their shared journey. She believed their love, forged in fire and magic, was strong enough to withstand anything. She was wrong. Jason, ever the opportunist, grew weary of his life with an exotic enchantress who reminded the Greeks of their fears. He sought a more conventional path to power. He found it in Creusa, the beautiful young daughter of King Creon of Corinth. By marrying her, Jason would secure a kingdom and wash away the stain of his controversial past. He saw it as a logical, political move. For Medea, it was the ultimate betrayal. He had not just broken his promise. He had shattered her world, invalidated every sacrifice she had ever made for him. His vow, sworn under the eyes of the gods, was now meaningless. The pain was a physical thing, a cold blade twisting in her heart. The love that had once been a blazing sun turned into a black hole, consuming all light. But beneath the grief, the old fire of her power began to smolder. This was not the end. Jason sought to erase her, to cast her aside like a broken tool. She would show him and all of Corinth the true extent of a sorceress scorned. Her revenge would not be swift or simple. It would be a masterpiece of psychological ruin, a precise dismantling of everything he hoped to gain. Her first act was a wedding gift for the new bride, Creusa. Medea wove a gown of breathtaking beauty, spun from moonlight and gilded with enchantments. It was her finest creation, imbued with a powerful illusion. When Creusa put on the dress, she saw a vision of her future with Jason, but it wasn't the glorious reign she imagined. She saw a kingdom turning to dust, a crown of thorns, a legacy of failure and whispers. The illusion showed Jason's ambition turning to ash, his name becoming a curse, and their future children bearing the weight of his broken vows. The vision was so vivid, so terrifying, it shattered her spirit. Creusa, horrified by the empty, cursed future awaiting her, renounced the marriage and fled the palace, her dreams of queendom destroyed forever. King Creon, seeing his plans for a royal alliance crumble and his daughter's spirit broken, was consumed by despair. His political ambitions, his entire legacy, had been undone by a single magical gift. Jason was left standing alone at the altar, his prize snatched away, his reputation in tatters. But Medea wasn't finished. Her final act was the most devastating. Jason's ultimate ambition was his lineage, the continuation of his name through his sons. Medea knew that simply taking them away would not be enough. Instead, she performed a final great spell. She enveloped her two boys in a shimmering aura of magic, a glamour that would follow them for the rest of their lives. To the world, they would no longer appear as Jason's sons. Their features would shift, their connection to his bloodline magically erased from public perception and historical record. Anyone who looked upon them would see two ordinary boys, with no hint of their heroic father. She took them to a hidden sanctuary, a place where they could grow up safe, but forever detached from the legacy Jason so desperately craved. He would never be able to claim them, never see his own reflection in their eyes, never hear his name passed down through generations. He was rendered heirless, his future erased, his name destined to fade into obscurity. He had gained the Golden Fleece, but lost everything that truly mattered. With her revenge complete, Medea summoned a chariot pulled by celestial dragons, a gift from her ancestor, the sun god Helios. She ascended into the sky, leaving a broken Jason staring up at her, a man who had everything and was left with nothing. She flew not into exile, but towards a new beginning, a powerful, solitary figure who had refused to be a victim of another's story. She became the master of her own, a tragic, terrifying, and brilliant legend who reminded the world that love can build kingdoms, but betrayal can burn them to the ground. Thank you for watching. If you were captivated by this epic tale, be sure to subscribe for more myths and legends.